Listen closely, for what I am about to share with you is not a mere theory, nor a fleeting philosophy. It is a fundamental truth, a law of your own being, so profound, so powerful, that once grasped and applied, your world, the very fabric of your reality, will never look the same. You have been searching, perhaps for years, for the key to unlock the life you desire. You have read, you have listened, you have hoped. But today, right now, we move beyond hope, beyond wishing, into the realm of direct, conscious creation. I will teach you how to feel, not just any feeling, but the specific creative feeling that is the secret of all manifestation. Stop for a moment, still your mind. Let the noise of the external world fade into the background. There is a power within you, a silent, invisible architect that shapes your experiences, your circumstances, your entire life, from the grandest achievements to the smallest details. This power responds not to your idle wishes, not to your desperate pleas, but to the deep, sustained conviction of your feeling. What you feel, truly and persistently feel as real within yourself, that is what your world must and will reflect. You have been told that to change your life, you must struggle, you must battle against external forces. But I tell you, the real work, the only work that truly matters, is internal. It is the work of changing your feeling, of assuming the state of your wish already fulfilled. This is the essence of what it means to feel it real. It is not about generating a superficial emotion for a few fleeting moments. It is not about pretending. It is about entering into the actual state, the inner atmosphere, the profound sensory conviction that what you desire is already a present fact in your experience. Think of it this way. Your imagination is the workshop of God, and feeling is the tool by which you sculpt your reality within that workshop. When you imagine a state, any state, and then allow yourself to truly feel what it would be like to be in that state, to experience it fully, you are impressing your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, this faithful servant, knows only how to objectify what is impressed upon it. It does not argue, it does not question the validity of the feeling. It simply accepts the feeling as fact and proceeds to make it so in your outer world. Many of you try to think your way into a new reality. You affirm, you visualize, but you do so from a state of lacking the very thing you desire. You affirm abundance while feeling the pinch of poverty. You visualize love while feeling the ache of loneliness. This internal contradiction is why your desires often remain unfulfilled. Your thoughts may be positive, but if the underlying feeling is one of lack, doubt, or fear, it is that dominant feeling that will win the day. It is the feeling that carries the creative charge. So, how do we cultivate this creative feeling? How do we move from merely wanting something to truly feeling that we already possess it, that we already are it? This is what I am here to teach you. First, you must understand that the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not an intense, agitated emotion. Often it is a quiet sense of naturalness, of rightness, of completion. If you desired a specific home and you suddenly found yourself living in it, after the initial excitement, the dominant feeling would be one of naturalness. It would feel like home. It would feel normal. This is the kind of feeling you are aiming to capture in your imagination. It is a feeling of it is done, a feeling of quiet satisfaction, of peace. The most potent time to impress the subconscious mind with this feeling is in the state akin to sleep. That drowsy, relaxed condition you enter just before drifting off or just as you awaken. In this state, your conscious mind, the gatekeeper that often argues and doubts, is subdued. Your awareness is withdrawn from the objective world and your attention is more easily focused inward. This is your sacred laboratory. Here is what you do. Before you go to sleep, or when you find yourself in that lovely, sleepy state, decide what it is you wish to experience. Do not choose a multitude of things. Choose one specific desire that, if realized, would thrill you. Now you must construct a brief scene and event, which implies that your desire has already been fulfilled. This scene should not be the desire itself, but an action that follows its fulfillment. For example, if you desire a promotion, you might imagine a friend congratulating you, or you might see yourself performing the duties of the new role. If you desire a loving relationship, you might feel a wedding ring on your finger or hear your partner speaking lovingly to you. The scene must be short, something you can easily bring to mind and repeat. Once you have your scene, close your eyes and immobilize your physical body. Induce a state of complete relaxation. Let go of all tension. Now bring your condensed scene to mind, but do not just see it as if you are watching a movie on a screen. You must enter the scene. You must be an actor in it, not merely an observer. What would you actually see if this were happening to you? What would you hear? What would you touch? And most importantly, what would you feel? This is where the art of feeling comes in. As you enact this scene in your imagination, allow yourself to experience all the sensory impressions that would be yours if the scene were objectively real. If you are being congratulated, feel the handshake, hear the words, see the smile on your friend's face. And then let the feeling that implies the wish is fulfilled flood your being. It might be a feeling of joy, of relief, of gratitude, of security, of accomplishment. Whatever that specific, satisfying feeling is for you, immerse yourself in it. Do not try to force the feeling. Let it arise naturally from the imagined action. If you are truly in the scene, acting it out in your mind's eye, the feeling will come. You might have to repeat the scene several times. Loop it like a short film playing over and over until it takes on the tones of reality, until it feels completely natural and real. As you do this, you are not wishing, you are not hoping, you are actively experiencing the reality of your wish fulfilled in your imagination. Persist in this imagined act, suffused with the feeling of its reality until you drift off to sleep. Fall asleep in the assumption that it is done. You have planted a seed in the fertile ground of your subconscious mind. And what you impress upon the subconscious in that sleepy, receptive state, it will work to bring forth. You might ask, how do I know if I have successfully felt it real? You will know because the feeling will be one of satisfaction, of completion. There might be a sense that you no longer intensely desire the thing because you have already experienced it in imagination. It feels like a memory. It feels natural. If you come out of your imaginal act still feeling that intense longing, you have not quite reached the point of assumption. Go back, repeat the scene, and strive for that inner conviction, that quiet knowing that it is so. As you practice this, you will become more adept at conjuring the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is a skill like any other that improves with practice. Do not be discouraged if it seems difficult at first. Your mind may wander, doubts may arise. Gently bring your attention back to your scene, back to the feeling. Now, what about your days? After you have performed this imaginal act in the state akin to sleep, how should you conduct yourself during your waking hours? You must learn to walk by faith, not by sight. Your senses will show you a world that may still reflect your old assumptions, your old feelings. Do not be moved by it. You have planted a new seed, a new reality within. You must remain faithful to this inner reality. This does not mean you deny the evidence of your senses. You acknowledge it, but you do not accept it as final. You know that your inner world is the creative reality, and the outer world is merely its shadow, and that shadow must eventually conform to the changes you have made within. During the day, if thoughts of your desire arise, do not revert to wishing or hoping. Instead, briefly recall the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the feeling you cultivated in your imaginal act. Let that feeling of satisfaction, of "it is done," wash over you for a moment. Then go about your business. You are not trying to make it happen through effort or anxiety. You are resting in the knowledge that it is already accomplished in the only place where creation truly occurs, your imagination. You might notice that opportunities begin to appear, seemingly out of nowhere. People may say or do things that move you closer to your goal. These are what Neville called the bridge of incidents. Your subconscious mind, having accepted your assumption, will intelligently guide you and orchestrate events to bring your desire into manifestation. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to your assumption, to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not try to figure out the how. The ways of the subconscious are beyond your conscious comprehension. Trust the process. One of an individual's greatest challenges is to persist in the assumption when the outer world seems to contradict it. This is where your discipline is tested. If you have assumed wealth, but your bank account still shows lack, it is easy to fall back into feelings of worry and doubt. But you must remember that the outer world is a lagging indicator. It is reflecting past assumptions. By persisting in your new feeling, your new assumption of wealth, you are reshaping that reflection. Think of yourself as an actor who has been given a new role. The role is the person who has achieved their desire. You must live that role internally. How would you think, feel, and act if your desire were already a fact? You would not be anxious. You would not be doubtful. You would be confident, secure, and at peace. Cultivate these states within yourself. Walk in the assumption that you are already the person you want to be, living the life you want to live. When doubt whispers in your ear, and it will, acknowledge it, but do not entertain it. Return to your imaginal act. Refeel the reality of your wish fulfilled. Each time you do this, you strengthen the impression on your subconscious mind and weaken the hold of the old, unwanted state. Many people ask, how long will it take? There is no fixed answer to this, for it depends on the intensity of your feeling and the consistency of your assumption. Some desires manifest quickly, others may take more time. But the time it takes is irrelevant if you are truly living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you are already experiencing it in imagination, you are not in a state of anxious waiting. You are in a state of joyous expectation, or better yet, calm knowing. The feeling is the secret. Not just any emotion, but the specific feeling that your desire is an accomplished fact. This feeling is a conviction, a certainty that transcends mere hope. It is an inner knowing that permeates your being. When you achieve this feeling, you have done all that is necessary. The rest will unfold naturally. Let me guide you further into the nuances of generating this powerful feeling. It is not about straining or forcing. True creative feeling arises from a relaxed, receptive state. When you are trying too hard, you are often operating from the conscious, reasoning mind, which is not the creative center. Relax, let go, allow the feeling to emerge as a natural consequence of your imagined scene. Consider the senses. When you construct your scene, engage as many senses as possible. If your desire involves a place, what does it smell like? What are the textures you would touch? What are the characteristic sounds of that place? The more sensory detail you incorporate into your imaginal act, the more real it will feel, and the easier it will be to evoke the corresponding emotional state. For example, if you desired to live by the ocean, you might imagine the smell of salt in the air, the sound of the waves, the feeling of sand beneath your feet. As you immerse yourself in these sensory details, the feeling of actually being there will begin to well up within you. Another powerful way to access the feeling is through gratitude. Once you have enacted your scene, feel a wave of profound gratitude for the desire having been fulfilled. Gratitude implies acceptance. It implies that the gift has already been received. If you can genuinely feel thankful for your desire as if it is already yours, you are powerfully impressing your subconscious mind with its reality. Say thank you, Father, internally, knowing that Father is your own wonderful human imagination, your awareness of being, which is the creative power. Think also about the feeling of relief. For many desires, especially those born out of a sense of lack or difficulty, the feeling of fulfillment is accompanied by a profound sense of relief. If you have been struggling financially, the feeling of abundance would bring immense relief. If you have been lonely, the feeling of companionship would bring relief from that ache. Tap into this anticipated relief in your imaginal act. Feel the burden lift, feel the tension dissolve. Feel the peace that comes with the problem having been solved. As you practice, you might find that certain types of scenes or certain sensory inputs resonate more deeply with you and make it easier to evoke the feeling. Pay attention to this. Customize your imaginal acts to what works best for you. The goal is always the same: to achieve that inner conviction, that feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not make the mistake of telling others about your inner work, especially those who are likely to be skeptical or negative. Your imaginal acts are sacred. Keep them to yourself. When you speak of your desire as something yet to be achieved, you reinforce the feeling of lack. Live your inner life privately, confidently, until the manifestation occurs in the outer world for all to see. Then your changed reality will speak for itself. Remember that your imagination is not a faculty for idle daydreaming or escapism. It is the very gateway to reality. What you imagine and feel to be true, you are commanding into existence. You are not petitioning an external deity. You are exercising your own inherent creative power. You are God in action, shaping your world from within. This teaching is not about manipulating circumstances or controlling other people. It is about controlling your own inner states, your own feelings and assumptions. When you change your inner state, the outer world rearranges itself to reflect that change, often in ways you could not have consciously devised. People will play the parts they must play to bring your assumption to pass, but they will do so naturally, believing they are acting of their own volition. Consider the power of persistence. Neville Goddard often emphasized that persistence in the assumption of the wish fulfilled is key. It is not enough to perform the imaginal act once and then forget about it, especially if you are dealing with deeply ingrained patterns of negative thinking and feeling. You must return to that feeling, that assumption, again and again, until it becomes your dominant inner state. Make it your dwelling place. Live there in your imagination until it becomes your physical reality. You might ask, what if I have negative feelings during the day? What if I feel fear or doubt? This is natural, especially in the beginning. Do not fight these feelings. Do not condemn yourself for having them. With practice, you will find that the negative feelings have less and less power over you. The journey of conscious creation is one of self-discovery. As you learn to master your feelings, you learn to master your life. You realize that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of them. This realization brings with it an immense sense of freedom and empowerment. So I urge you, begin tonight. Choose a desire that is important to you. Construct your scene. Enter the state akin to sleep. And then, feel it real. Feel it with all the intensity and conviction you can muster. Persist in that feeling. Fall asleep in that assumption. And then, walk through your days with the quiet confidence of knowing that your desire is already an accomplished fact in the higher realm of your imagination. And it is now moving into your visible world. This is not just a technique. It is a way of life. It is about understanding that your inner world is the cause and your outer world is the effect. When you truly grasp this, you will stop trying to change the effects and instead focus all your energy on changing the cause, which is your own consciousness, your own feeling. You have within you a power that is limitless, a power that can bring into your experience anything you can conceive and feel is true. Do not let this power lie dormant. Awaken it. Use it. Claim the life you desire, not by struggle, but by the divine art of feeling. As you continue this practice, you will begin to notice subtle shifts. Perhaps in old anxiety lessons. Perhaps you feel a new sense of optimism or peace. These are signs that your inner state is changing. Cherish these inner shifts, for they are the precursors to outer change. The outer world has no choice but to conform to your sustained inner vision, to your dominant feeling. Remember, the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the language your subconscious mind understands. It is the creative energy that molds your world. Learn to speak this language fluently. Learn to generate this energy at will, and you will find that you are indeed the master of your destiny, the architect of your reality. Take these words to heart. Do not just listen to them, apply them. The proof of this teaching is in the experiencing of it. Experiment with it. Test it. You have nothing to lose but your limitations and a world of your own choosing to gain. The power is within you now, waiting to be unleashed through the magic of feeling. Feel your wish as already fulfilled and watch as your world transforms. It is your birthright. Claim it.